When you are called mentally ill, you're a free dollar sign. You're a free victim. You're somebody that people know that they can take advantage of financially and physically and sexually. And then they know that nobody's going to listen to you because all these predators have to do is call you mentally ill. For many of us, our first predators were our families. The first people to rape us were in our families. The first people to molest us were in our families. The first people to physically assault us were our families. And the first people to take advantage of us financially are our families. But they don't see it that way, do they? They see it as, oh, well, that's just the way families are. No, families are the most likely to abuse you. That's why domestic violence is such a major issue here. You get to see how there's a bunch of different specialization places. Specialize in just helping women, just helping felons, just helping black people, just helping natives or Jews, just helping one group. Because apparently that one group is supposedly more victimized than the rest of us, and that's just simply not the truth. The homeless, the disabled, and men. Those are the top three dumbasses. Fucking alfalfa. It'd be nice if horses didn't require alfalfa. Sounded like somebody sneezed. Bless you, I suppose. I should have brought some Kleenex with me. When it comes to protecting your loved ones, you as a man are told all this stuff that you're supposed to do, what you're expected to do, and everybody's got a different idea about it, don't they? Some people think you should have gone to the cops. Even if you did, they're going to pretend like you must not have. Because in their position, the cops would have done something for them. A lot of people don't stop to recognize the difference between being a man in a house and a man on the street. See, there's a big difference between a man in the White House and a man in the streets. There's a big difference between a man in the White House and a man in a house. There's a difference between a person in a mansion and a person in a rental. Each one of these are different levels of privilege in society. And each one of those levels is expected to shit on the level below them. While we talk about equality. Meanwhile, nobody my entire life has ever actually tried to understand me. They're too busy talking over me and explaining to me that they understand, and in reality, they don't understand, and they prove that by being too busy talking over me to listen. I'm told about how I need to respect this group of people and respect that group of people, and goddamn you like hell I do. Whether or not I respect you is based on you. It's not based on your skin color. It's not based on your gender. Just because we teach every single woman in the United States, we train them at birth how to manipulate men. And why do we do this? Because it's easy. Because we train men, starting at birth, that they're supposed to be the almighty protector of everyone. Don't we? Of course we do. Now that's how we end up with a nation where there are no good men left. You know all those really nice guys that you knew in junior high school? Yeah, you remember by the time they finished high school, they weren't very nice anymore? Do you ever ask yourselves why? No, not till you get pregnant and you realize you've got a boy coming in. You go, oh man, I hope he doesn't run into any girls like I am. A lot of the women that I know, that's their biggest fear with their son, is that people like her will end up doing that shit. One woman, she's got a son. She was telling me, yeah, I was trying to baby trap him, man. I really liked the guy, but also I knew we were not in the same social class. I knew that it was just a fun time for him and that he had options. And yeah, sure, I tried to baby trap him. What does that mean? Getting pregnant to try to make sure that he stays around? Guys tend to not like that. We teach girls at birth what to do, what to think, what to believe, in order to make them the perpetual victims of everything always. A woman is taught, oh, well, you just say, oh, well, I admit I'm not perfect. You don't admit what you did wrong, and lo and behold, it makes everything okay. And it doesn't. Women are taught how not to take responsibility. How to pawn it off on someone else, just like the police are taught to do. The most likely people to victimize us in nearly every single scenario are women. In nearly every scenario, our mothers are the most likely person to victimize us. You know how messed up that is? We're going to blame the dads, aren't we? How many women admitted to committing acts that they thought were stalking when men did it, but not when they did it? Yeah, when it's you, it's getting revenge. When it's him, it's stalking. When you're getting revenge, you think it's okay. When he's trying to get visitation with his son, somehow that's stalking. If he tells you no, but you can't handle being turned down because you're that fucked up in the head, how dare a man turn you down? You're going to take revenge on him. You're going to slander his name because you're angry, like Natalie Bollinger, like Rand Ingersoll. How many of these women admitted they did fucked up shit because they were angry? And what were they angry about? Each and every one of them angry I told the truth about them. Oh, how dare I? And how dare I say anything publicly? Meanwhile, these people, hundreds of people who claimed that they wanted to help me, just wanted to argue with people on Facebook, not make calls to turn in the evidence. Oh, they could spend literally thousands of hours typing and arguing and being dickheads with people on fucking Facebook, but not one goddamn hour spent trying to help me to turn it in. Over and over again, empty promise after empty promise. At least I speak up. I suppose next I should probably make something about the RPG-7. That's a big one that lots of people like. I saved it for the number 7 spot, so we'll see how well it works. People use a lot of keywords to let you know that they're not going to help you. Like when people say sorry, that's a general indicator of laziness, complacency, or cowardice. When people want to tell you that they love you just out of the blue, that's a fucking creepy one for me. I love all people and I don't mind saying it back. But at the same time, goddamn, some of y'all dumb son of bitches. And when you get away with doing something fucked up, you do it again and again and again and again. When that little girl hits your son on the playground, right? And your son comes to you. And you tell him, oh, that means she likes you. What you've taught him is that means she likes him. Number one, that gives him the wrong idea. And number two, you've taught that little girl that hit him that that's okay. That she'll get away with it. When you let her get away with it, instead of correcting that behavior immediately, she'll do it again and again and again. A bigger head every time. And that's how we ended up in this mess. We allowed predatory women a free reign of terror, while women who are actually being victimized have no reprieve. Where men who are actually being victimized have no reprieve. And where the children suffer as a result. But it's okay, right? You use the fact that you're a mother to victimize people. Meanwhile, are you helping your children? Or are you helping yourself? Are you reading your kids books before bed, or are you getting drunk with your husband? Our predators will change just a word or two of what we said to warp it around into something it ain't, and that's horrible. When you're forced into homelessness because you followed instructions, you followed the legal advice of mandated reporters, and then when you call them up and you say, hey, what you said to do, I had to do it alone, it didn't work the way that you claimed it would. Come on. There's a cat outside, but he didn't want my cigarette. I'm also not trying to give him my cigarette. A lot of people, like Nicole Vertner, for example, when you try to turn in crimes that were committed against you and police were involved, or hospital workers, and you're trying to turn it into a mandated reporter who works for that hospital, are they going to be loyal to the hospital, or are they going to be loyal to the mandated reporter job that they're sworn to uphold? They're going to be loyal to the goddamn paycheck. Duh. Arrest and conviction numbers show that men are 90% more likely to be arrested and convicted. 81% of those incarcerated were homeless when arrested. The majority of them called mentally ill. When you have to turn in police officers to their own department, you get to see how when I tried to turn in Officer Waylon Lolatai to the Boulder Police Department, just like many other occasions prior, trying to turn in officers, those officers retaliated against me by lying about me, by slandering me, by harming me, by assaulting me, by playing on the mentally ill tag, by claiming that I was schizophrenic and delusional, and working with the Bollinger family, Natalie Bollinger's own rapists, well, Natalie Bollinger and her friends were allowed to do horrible, horrible, nasty things to me repeatedly by pretending that I might do horrible things. Natalie Bollinger never once, through any of her bullshit, not once ever, did she accuse me of doing anything that was fucking illegal that she could actually prove. Do you know why? Because I didn't do anything illegal. Police fucked up by assuming based on gender, just like the rest of you assholes. Just like as soon as you hear the term mentally ill, automatically that's your cue to talk over me like I'm retarded. I'm too retarded to figure this shit out on my own, right? So you have to talk to me like I'm a retarded 2-year-old, right? And then, of course, you want to deny me my legal rights. And then you want to tell me it was my goddamn decision. And then you want to tell me that you can't give me legal advice. It's against the law for you to give me legal advice after you've told me to do a bunch of shit that's fucking illegal? Are you out of your goddamn mind? This is why an at-risk adult, especially if they're male, especially if they're homeless, need to have a friend or family member who they can call, who actually takes the goddamn situation seriously. Because once you allow them to get a big head, these predators will do it over and over and over again. That's how you get that little girl on the playground who starts off at 5 years old beating on your fucking 4-year-old. And she got away with it. Now she's going to go hit another boy on the playground, and this time she's not as afraid. This time she might even giggle about it and think it's fucking funny. She's not going to take it seriously till either one of these trusted adults we're supposed to go to that doesn't do shit but give us bad fucking advice. We've either got to hope that one of these adults puts a stop to it, or we gotta hope that one of the guys that she's gonna hit is gonna knock her the fuck out before she hits you. And you know that a girl that is taught how to be violent, and that it's okay for her to be violent, and that it's not okay for boys to hit her back, she's gonna do this for the rest of her life. All right? This is what you have taught these girls to do. To be physically violent for the rest of their lives towards boys. Towards boys, especially. And you have crippled boys by telling them they're not allowed to defend themselves. And that if a woman spreads the kind of rumors that destroy a man's life with the intention of having him harmed, physically, financially, and mentally, that it's okay, that the boy is supposed to ignore it. That's what everyone wanted to tell me to do. To ignore it and to move somewhere else and to move on. Lots of people, when they told me to move on, I'm like, I'm literally in the same town as these goddamn predators. All right, what you're telling me to do is to move. Oh no, I didn't say move. I said move on. Like, Chris Kurth, for example. I had to deal with him in Chapel, Nebraska, threatening me and being harmful to me and getting other people involved in being harmful to me for a very long time. Same thing with Robert Franklin Mornick, the registered pedophile. Cops helped that son of a bitch. Cops that I recorded time and again claiming that they, even though Megan Missigatis eventually, because I forced the situation by having the cops show up and then calling Megan Missigatis while the cops were there, and she always tried to do the same thing. She always wanted to irk out of it and get off the phone. Well, I needed her to be on the phone, and I needed her to verify some stuff. I needed her to do her job as an advocate. How the fuck did she ever advocate for me? That's what I want to know. When a woman won't take abuse against a man seriously, what do these people do? They talk about themselves, talk about their personal lives, talk about everything that they've got going on. How many of my quote-unquote therapists spent at least half of the time talking about themselves? Marcia Estrada spent quite a bit of time. One person got a hold of me and said, you know what, she spent 35-point-something% of her time talking about her. And I went, well, I don't
know about all that, but yeah, she did talk about her an awful lot. Now, a lot of these people didn't feel comfortable being recorded. Well, that doesn't matter in the state of Nebraska. Thing is that these mandated reporters wanted to break the law, and then they wanted to break the law some more by pretending that they have the right to hide. They don't. They put myself and my friends and family at risk. They don't have the right to hide. When it comes to children, the children, the elderly, or the disabled in at-risk situations, you do not have the right to expect privacy. What this means is that anybody who is an at-risk adult or a child may record at any point in time, no matter where they're at. Be it a courtroom, a courthouse, federal, civil, local, municipal, it doesn't matter. Whether they're in a nursing home or an assisted living home, they have the right to record for their safety. Even if they're at school, they have the right to record. The only people who are afraid of being recorded are people who break the law. People who do not have good intentions. One of the things that I was taught early growing up in the system is that you should never trust an adult who asks you to keep secrets. I'm going to say that again for those of you in the nosebleed section. Never trust an adult who asks you to keep a secret. Not a police officer, not a public pretender, not your own mom and dad. Never trust an adult who asks you to keep secrets. And that doesn't stop when you become an adult. When you are called mentally ill, you will be victimized in the United States for the rest of your life, unless you have a friend or family member who cares. When you are victimized, and you will be, because you are easy to victimize, whether you want to admit to it or not, is a sense of your pride, a pride that is artificial, that you have been taught to believe and had it drilled into your head, that you are victimized because you chose it. You chose to be different. If you tried harder to fit in, if you tried harder to fit in, and then you're told, oh, well, you just need to be yourself. Just try harder to fit in, just be yourself. Try harder to fit in, just be yourself. Back and forth, back and forth. You're giving advice, but you're not listening. My phone's overheating, so I have to shut it down.